This Koi up against W7M, basically for the win of the group, for the bye into that first round. Basically, you become top 12 already, if my calculations are not mistaken. And the first ban comes in, and it's going to be Yana removed by W7M. And Scrying says there's going to be no mercy.
Hey, I just love you, bro. No mercy. Hey, fair enough. I mean, this is a showdown. You want a showdown. Yana gone. First of all, Doc will be quick to follow up, and W92 with the OK.
He's not too bothered about that one.
Or he is very bothered.
Or very. Now the Rato coming in instead of Rasho, I think. Mira as well to be removed. Of course, Mira is one of those architects. It is a word that many of you might have been hearing lately, especially, of course, due to the fact that Azami is such a prevalent kind of operator right now. And Azami is one of those architects basically doing the same as what Mira did when she first entered the lineup, right? Like, of the Rainbow Six. Then there was no bans, however, so Mira was allowed to just reign free. But still, seeing a ban every now and then, even with Azami on the board, who is left open, so we will see that architecture coming through. And as we get going, it is going to be Karaoke Tea. You mentioned it before. That is going to be that, you know, that 70 almost % win rate coming in. So just bringing the security first, getting as many rounds as quickly as you possibly can.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
All right. Give me a game. Give me a show. Give me something fighty. Give me something feisty all the way. Because, all right, these two teams, they're sort of sitting at the top. The game that's going on the other stream, G2 versus SSG, there's the chance there that G2 might be able to leapfrog depending on the results of this and get themselves into the top 2. It's not a huge chance, but there's a chance. SSG, they can only sort of find themselves level. They will not be able to get themselves into the top 2, I believe.
No, but they can find themselves in third place if they win from G2 based on head-to-head, of course. So
yep.
They need to get that 2-0 victory to get themselves out of that lower bracket. So that means if G2 pick up any map on the other stream, that dream is over as well. And of course, it will be coming down to like a mini-league system if G2 would be to win this and then Koi win this in a 2-1 fashion, because then we would have all teams equalized here. So that's some of the stakes. As Hertz, he's ready to go for a bit of a spawn peek. Just waiting outside of the shrine window, looking to see if anybody moves up, looking, well, to try and find out if anybody's moving, but instead he gets spotted. Isn't able to find anybody, barricades that window up again. He's not going to be sticking around too long. His key's right below where Koi is actually going to be pushing from. It's going to be the house area, but the top floor, so Exhibition is falling first. Spoid is on the entry here. Drone's right ahead of him. Have they known? Have they seen the player that is near? Well, first of all, Drum that is looking to go for a bit of a swing, but also near VIP.
Holding off, expecting somebody to be a little bit adventurous here as the air jabs get themselves locked in. Kanto, he's just making sure the top of the house stairs stays firmly in the hands of, well, not the house. They're seeing if they can try and swindle and crack and cross their way. Hertz, here's the slow ebb of it, but as long as the walls still stand next to him, he's safe. If they start to find themselves under a bit of pressure, then suddenly he might be in a bit of a dangerous position. There's only really the hard breach in, 2 pockets. They have a lot that they can work with here for the push, Koi, and with the Thermite going over to the opposite end and starting to put the pressure, the Azami's going to buy themselves just a little bit of wiggle room onto Geisha.
Extra Thermic coming through, Keeper Bearers are being deployed as they are being taken down as well, but just making quick work of them, just burning through that piece of utility. Another one coming through, but you know, that means that 3 Keeper Bearers have been taken out. And what have they gained? Well, about like 10 seconds, nothing really more than that. Hertz is holding a better position though. He's on the top of Shrine near Dragon. Spoit actually gets that first kill though, and that means that as Kanto takes down Hertz, the complete east side has fallen.
Yeah, that was just a sudden spike through past Drum. They hit the first engagement. Spoit's now tucked here and he can wait for a bit of support, but it's such a dangerous corridor of land. Sees a sliver and they're actually able to get a hard wall put up on the back of gold whilst the pressure's coming across quite close, but with JV92 having a bit of a watch down, Spoit gets caught. A rotation from underneath is coming through here from Koi. They're getting themselves able to do this. The pinch onto the player inside the side of Geisha. Deepek does get Julio in the meantime. They still have the yellow pings on the arena. He's just going to slip themselves slightly further away. JV is taking a lot of damage from the first grenade. You look at Kanto, you look at Deepek. The guns that they have, it just takes a clip. Oh, well, less than that for them.
Just that one bullet coming through from Difmark there leaves it only up to Phobes in that 1v4 situation. But you mentioned it, a lot of them are low on HP. The diffuser is needing to be planted in the next 10 seconds, so Phobes has a good opportunity to go for a clutch here, but Leon actually locks him out before carrying the diffuser. Round one going to Koi.
All right, first round Koi and a bit of pace there. Skyscraper attacks aren't easy. Not many teams in the world are generally comfortable attacking Sky. It's, even with a team like Koi, who is sort of in that echelon, in that small amount of teams that are like, yeah, we can attack this map. It's still 10 seconds left. It's still 15 seconds left when you're trying to put the pressure onto the site itself. There's a lot of rooms, a lot of structure, a lot of individual boxes you sort of have to tick and clear to get yourself a true idea. You can sort of see it from the, these deeper angles of just how much of it is, here's a rectangle with another rectangle, another 6 rectangles attached to it.
I mean, as mentioned before, the side that we've just previously seen, Karaoke T, out of the 34 times played, 70% of it went towards the defense. So Koi picking up that first round it's absolutely massive for them, especially if they can repeat that later on. Of course, we are headed towards exhibition now. It's W7M deciding to not go for a run-it-back strategy, looking to change it up a little bit. And as the shields have been set up, we saw a east to west clear from Koi. The other round probably will turn into a west to east. Hurst was ready for the spawn peak, but Spoit was more ready.
Yeah, Spoit, sharp as ever. 2 abilities to get the entry, 2 rounds in a row, and Koi have come into this swinging. They're making sure that W7M puts some respect on the gun game because they know that at some point W7M will warm into it as well. Push the advantage, put the pressure on, make the statements early, and then start this. The collapse and clear over the top, forcing the play from the opposite end. You'll see a lot of teams do this. If you're trying to get your way across exhibition, you start your side on Geisha, and vice versa. Oh, there's another one. Spoit, he is on a tear.
W7M is being picked apart slowly but steadily in the last round, but also this round. A minute has passed, 2 players are lost, and again, a bit of a flank attempt, JV92, but he's been spotted out by the drone, so is he going to stick around? Well, Spoit is definitely putting up some pressure instantly. Oh, another player came in from gold. It's Keys that gets a double kill, brings it back, goes for the third before he gets punished by Leon Getz. He does not land a double, however, and that means that the diffuser now is down on the ground. JV92 is able to fall back, and the remaining 2 members of Koi need to recover it, and then go towards the side, try and actually make that plan happen.
Holding themselves off for a moment, 2 versus 2. They've done very well to buy themselves some time back into this after losing the early 2 engagements. With so much time, that's definitely something Koi can use to their advantage. They have a little bit of intel left, they have a little bit of utility left, and they're going to see if they can force some space, keep themselves at a bit of arm's length, but at the same time to keep barricades and a C4. And, well, Julio and JV92, 2 of the most experienced sort of players in terms of one finding fights and the other one controlling them. It is a dangerous approach here that Koi have to make against some of the experience of W7M. The Zami is shown holding up on one side. They're going to pull themselves a bit back. They're going to play a bit of this time game, sort of say, well, we're here. And as I said, the room-to-room and box-to-box checking makes this a very awkward approach. There's so many corners to check.
And they spotted out both the players, actually, with that drone that just moved through. Deepek's getting a next drone in position. Turret's clear. Checking Dragon, also going to be clear. Fell back from that. And they need to actually find out where the Izami is located. There you go, that's a spot coming through. That's one. Where's the second player? Now, potentially Deepek holding on to that, trying to go for a bit of a hunt as the E1D comes through to try to push VIP to at least turn this into a 1v1 situation.
The smokes cover a bit of the motion. There's one of those keeper barricades buying themselves time. We talked about how it wasn't precious before. This time it sure is. 2 of them find the first fight. They're driving their way to the back. They're going to hold off, see if they can get them as they go for the plant itself. If we talk experience, Julio has a lot of it. He tucks himself round. He's on the back. Deepek with the pre-fire. They've got to just hold the plant, get the cover. Julio's in the 1 versus 1. He rotates round the opposite way, and it's the C4!
He had that C4. He knew that was the best way to take him down. Throw it over. Put yourself at minimal risk. And Deepek, whilst he was chasing, just like moments off every single time on reaching him. Like, he checked through the rotation, he just snuck by. He rotates through, just went through the doorway. So Julio just escaping with his life twice there. Good clutch coming through.
There have been so many examples throughout this tournament of Julio's experience. And that's just the perfect time. Obviously, you know, there's a little bit of luck that comes into your favor. There's a little bit of the wind going into your sails. But the motions there, keeping the C4, knowing when it needs to pop. It was great work from the Azami, buying as much time at the top of house stairs as they did. But in that situation there, as you said, they were always one step ahead of the motions. The C4 went one way, they went the other. They knew that they didn't have to overreach and overstretch, and it clutched them out that round.
It definitely did. I do have to say, though, I like the clear from Koi onto the VIP. Just the timing going on and the room clearing, like, just came right out of like a CQB kind of game. We clear out, like an old Rainbow Six game, if you would go at it. But it wasn't enough. Just the one kill coming through, and you know, they had the opportunity to actually win there if they were half a second faster, but rounds pass, we move on. So headed back towards Karaoke and T. Koi, how are you going to be approaching this? It seems like some of them will be going down from below, possibly. Or just on Repel and Overwatch.
Drone is ready to go.
As they move themselves across. It's not going to be an east to west clear this time. This one looks more direct. You see Spoid already set up outside of a window, crying, doing the exact same thing. I think they want to be pushing up the black stairs there, isolate that player, and hit it from Geisha at the same time.
I was gonna say, those going outside Dragon Window, they're sort of saying, well, we spent a while doing the push on the opposite end. There's also a bit of sort of resilience on Geisha Window. They've angled themselves up here, W7M. I think it might be JV92 is just sort of watching and waiting for somebody to come along and try and get the wall opened. But because the push is coming from underneath and elsewhere, he's above you, Kanto. He's above you right now. And that's that sort of thing. W7M, what point do you think they'll sort of go, it's not the same push, it's a different approach, we need to slightly reposition. You can see they've moved themselves into terrace now. They've got the player on the top of black stairs that's sort of watching down it. The Aruni's moved slightly further away to get some cover here. The Geisha wall's being popped open, and there's JV92 popping off Leon.
First entry kill for W7M. Now Keys coming back as well. He was always in the house area, knew that it was not going to be coming from that side, and you know, made that call. The entry comes through. The diffuser actually dropped outside with a minute 10 left on the clock, and you know, Sky's not an easy map to navigate. That is going to be taking you 20 to 30 seconds to recover that diffuser and get back into the fight. So they need to be quick with this. Grenades coming in from below. He's not going to be finding anybody for now. And Koi still left guessing, still left, trying to make an impact happen.
Well, how much is your dedication here? Because sooner or later it's going to turn into a bit of a brawl on side the site. They're still looking for the fight above as well. JV92 has got himself tucked. There's a bit of a barricade support from the Keebers. They've still got a lot of time, and he's actually going to go fishing and hunting for the fight. He thinks he might be able to cut them off at the pass, but Deepak has a DMR. A bit locked down, and KZ has a Pokeball to catch him. Gets that rebuilt behind the back of it. That puts the kit out of reach. That puts Cryin, and Spoiled at the same time, gone Kanto. Got to clutch it all here. Gets the first fight, but from above him, W7M pull ahead.
Well played by W7M. They realized the push was not going to be the same very early on due to the fact that they had a player in the house area, so there was no pressure coming down there. You know something else is up. Check your cameras. Oh, bottom floor cams are suddenly gone. That's surprising. It's going to be Koi that comes up from there. Diffuser dropped twice. It basically runs you out of time at that point. And Koi, they lose out on Karaoke the second time around.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
But of course, you don't want to be running the same attack twice. Yes, it worked the first time, but it came down to 10 seconds. Do you want to go for it another time? Well, clearly the answer was no. And rightfully so. Change of pace, though. We are headed towards the barbecue and kitchen area.
The hungriest site.
The hungriest site in
all of Siege.
Because you got barbecue, you know, one bomb side. Then you have
kitchen is the other.
Kitchen is the other, but we're like right next to barbecue. You also have the sushi area.
It's just
and the restaurant right next to it.
I didn't have breakfast this morning.
And next to the kitchen, we have the pantry with all the nice little, you know, tomato and paprika supplies.
Look at the fresh.
With the little bar out of there.
Bag of, it's just a bag of green.
I think it's a bag of beans or something. I don't know.
Ah, yes. A bean bag.
No, it's literally the hungriest side.
Yeah.
And sight of all in Rainbow Six.
Are they the hungriest players?
Well,
in
that's
Rainbow Six,
what
though?
we're waiting for.
That's what we're waiting for, and Crying's going quite direct. Puts the pressure onto the bathroom window. Nobody's in that position to try and swing back. As I said before in the past round, we had W7M set up a little bit, and there's a little bit, but he's somehow able to get Spoit before he gets caught out. 3 players, and Spoit was just sort of crouched, suffering in front of a door there for a second, and the spray came through first. They knew he was rotating that way. That's a bit of a misplay there, and a bit of a miss moment from Koi, but at least they were able to get a body back.
Well, at least Difmark is quite sharp in his replies, though. You saw it in the last round when he was attacking the geisha window, now with a quick response as well, even though, you know, they should have had the pickup before the kill came through, but it's always good to see one of your support players stepping up like that. Grenades coming through. It's going to be clearing out some of the utility, also now aware of the fact that close to them is going to be cleared. Still a bit of being afraid though that they might be coming up from the shrine area. I think they want to be opening up the gold wall. That's why Difmark is currently located where he is. See if they might be able to get inside and go for, you know, quick plants in a bit of a safe area. Now also Koi very afraid of the fact that someone might be right behind them, so there is a bit of lack of information on their side.
They have themselves putting a bit of pressure here on the second story. Leon's not quite sure where the push is, but there's a rotate that's come around, watching up towards the terrace, watching towards that back wall, and they're hoping to maybe get a catch. No, they pull away from pantry as the pressure comes onto gold. It forces a swing. And as Difmark gets himself out of there, the kill drops on the door itself. Kanto can find Volps. They've got this pressure. Hertz has moved up to black. He's watching to make sure nobody just swings in on the back end behind the gate. But look at this, slow shoulder peaks, jiggles. They know that this is a gun game.
It is. The serial laser gate gets wasted. Now 2 members of Koi starting to move in. Hertz, you need to be quicker on the trigger here. That's going to be the shoulder peak and instantly falls back. He knows he cannot win that.
Oh, Julio underneath as well. Sorry, I just saw that. He was watching up from a hole at first for a very long time. The slip comes by. Kanto gets hurt. In the meantime, Julio, I don't think Juiced saw the rappel down.
I don't think so. Definitely heard it though. So he's aware of the fact that someone went down. Changing position. That's the Aruni spotted out behind the bar now. There's one player located. The other one is in the bathroom. Plant's already going down, though. 45 seconds soon to be on the clock. JV92 pushing. He's going to be coming around the corner. He's trying to go for a wallbang, but he doesn't quite hit it. He does, but the diffuser goes down just beforehand.
Could not have been closer here, but now it's a 2 versus 3. The question is time. They've got to see if they can try and retake this. He's going to go for the long arm. He might see if he can just be in a distance. There on the other side is Soft. JV92 cannot quite get away with it. Takes the man on the drop, goes back to pick it up, but there's Kanto filling in the dots, and Julio over the top cannot find the fight, and Kanto claims it.
Well done by Koi. They, you know, beeline themselves to the objective after they had the top floor under control. This shows you why you need that top floor, because it's so much easier to hold onto a diffuser that way than when you have to do it horizontally. Bit of a missed call coming through on W7M. You saw the ping on the initial spot that JV92 started spraying. He then realized, oh, it is going to be closer. Actually hit the shot, but if he had that information earlier, that plan never would have gone down.
Yep.
And that would have been potentially a W7M round, because what do you do from there on? Well, you start dropping, but you're in a disadvantage when you do start dropping through hatches. But Koi, they hang on. 2-2. Keeping it an even game.
Yeah, if we talk about the windfalls of Siege, there's definitely one that I think works there into the favor of Koi. They had themselves in a dangerous situation if that kit was out of their hands. But 2-2 to a piece. The battle rages ever on. And we're generally getting quite a lot of people activated in this game, but in strange ways. Obviously, Hertz is the only one that hasn't been able to find blood. A couple of players like JV92 and like Kanto stepping up quite big. It's a very hard to gauge game because I suppose if you're looking at these 2 teams, you're sort of propositioning big names against each other. You want to see Julio hitting heads with Leon. You want to see KZ hitting heads with Spoit, and here, the shape of that on the shape of Skyscraper is making for a bit of an interesting taste.
Talking about food again?
I'm just really hungry.
You don't have breakfast?
No.
Maybe you should.
I had to make it
no?
all the time.
Oh, yeah, true. Lucky I could go in an hour later.
Yeah.
Blessed. Either way, quick opening towards Geisha. Shows you that they want to be approaching this from the west. At least clear out whatever is out here. Just gives you a lot more ease of mind when, you know, everything behind you is going to be clear when you start pushing through. It's nothing worse than when you start pushing in from Dragon, VIP, and, you know, there's still someone right behind you. Suddenly you find yourself in a sandwich with W7M players. A lot of barricades have been put up by W7M. They're really trying to slow down Koi as much as they can.
They're making things noisy as well, and what we're going to have to see here is a little bit of hammer and anvil, and there's the hammer, but there's nobody behind it apart from another soft.
I see gold.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame here. They've hit a brick wall, and then they've hit 50 soft walls, and they've got to try and go through them step by step by step. Remember, one of the problems last time we were here was time. It came down to the 2 versus 2. They're sort of banking on that.
He hasn't been droned. Keys hasn't been droned. That's
no! Oh, no! Gets one, can't get the second. The E1D comes out as a bit of a saving grace. The drone's going to get themselves in the position. They know there's nowhere he can go but back and forth. So how do they get the close down? They can't get it that way. Spoit gets caught out. And KZ gets his own escape. Will he get a third for the trouble? There it is! And he has just retaken the whole end of this building. One separates him from an ace, and I said it before. Maybe it's hard to gauge just what name is going to pop off.
They go for it. Oh!
But he doesn't quite get the ace. But you can see JV92 was happy to let him try first.
You know, yeah, that's exactly it. They knew where he was. They went for the run out. And that's what I said. I saw the drone roll through, and with all these barricades, you know, you're like, oh, there's surely no one here anymore. And they didn't drone gold. And I was like, did they see gold? And then they started walking in, not paying attention to it. I'm like, they didn't see gold. And Keys, he just cleans them up. He did exactly what he needed to do there. Allowing himself and W7M to take the lead off this half. And they secure themselves at least a 3-3, but they have the opportunity to take this with a 4-2 as well. As they add back to karaoke, which they have won quite easily in the second attempt of Rogue's attack.
Bit of a whoops.
It's a big whoops. Missed drones like this shouldn't happen, especially if you're going from a west to east clear. You check these corners. You're with 5 people, you have 2 or 3 people droning. You should be able to check these corners, especially gold. It's such a default height spot, you can almost say.
5 seconds.
Okay, wow. I don't want to give spoilers towards the other stream. Oh. I just want to give spoilers towards this round. No, can't quite get anybody that early. I don't think anyone can get up there that early. Maybe it's just looking for drones. But for what we've had back and forth on this stream, I think the other one might have been the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We may have had the second 7-0 in this tournament.
It might have been...
we won't say who.
We won't say who.
But I'm sure you'll know.
If you've been watching, you know. And
you've
that
been knowing, you'll watch.
Really spices up the fight for first.
It
like that.
Definitely does. It obviously adds the heat and the tension. We'll probably get their results sooner. We'll get the result of what Spoit's doing. Nothing this round. KZ is able to finalize 5 kills from the 1 death from the previous round, but also gets traded out quite quick there. Leon is able to get the back end, and this is the thing that I tried to make a point of before, is you never really know who's going to be getting an engagement on this map. It's been so sort of malleable from both teams. Who wants to step in, hurts and cry, and they're able to, again, find different people and different engagements at exactly the same second. It is 10 gunners, and all of them are trying to find a fight with everybody.
That's the thing, like Skyscraper, first of all, you're like trying to fight yourself away inside. Like, there's so many windows, you're just on small balconies, especially when attacking that second floor, that you're almost always going to find yourself in an engagement if you try to get in. And then when you get inside the building, due to all these boxes you've been talking about, it's so easy for defenders to just fall back and take engagements and then fall back another box. And it's basically always just fighting yourself through. There's no safe space. There's no free ground being given away by anybody here. This drum is being held, so is Shrine. That sets up a line of sight. Kanto, no clue Hertz was there. Not even sure if he ran out with like an air jab in his hand wanting to fire that one off, but turns it back into a 2-on-2 situation now.
It's really not the first time we're seeing W7M taken it by surprise, but will Koi do the same? I think they heard a little bit there, but the swing round, and I don't think they heard it close enough. Leon's able to get a surprise strike right back, and Hertz, he's a little bit isolated. Leon has the kit. What are you going to do? He thought of rotating there for a second. Instead, he's going to check the drones. And, ooh, what does this operator do very well? Get underneath! Not like that, though. Not the traditional manner. 30 seconds. They have plenty of time. Crying. He's going to get the kid. He's going to get himself formulated. What's in the pockets of Herd's magical glasses? So you get on the table. It's how you do this. Instead, he comes up round, goes for the wall bang. He's on the other side of the chassis, sees the edge, Crying gets the kit, cannot get off the table. And Herd's able to clutch out that round for the 4-2 half.
Somehow was able to get away with it here, but I'm not sure if Crying actually had an idea that he's coming from the back. Pushing through either way. Good clutch coming through, and that's the beauty of Solace. Like, also, like, well read. It's like, okay, he's going to be planting on the table. He already knew that because he was rotating towards the staircase. Like, in case they do, we can fight this way instead. So, like to see that little bit of, well, knowledge as well from the Solace player.
I do wonder, you know, what the calls were. Obviously, we've had such a good insight into that at that moment, because you're up against the Solace. You assume you know what the Solace is going to do. The response is to get up on the table, so he obviously had the call. There's a Solace underneath, got into that position. The impact came against it. You're generally just hearing that behind you, going for the plant. There's a million things on.
Yeah.
It's very understandable and likely that they said, well, they're underneath, and he thought he could get himself repositioned. I think it's why he was looking towards black as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. It's like the impact came in behind him, the shots as well, and he was looking black whilst trying to get off instead of, you know,
you never know. You never know. What
maybe it's like, oh, maybe he's rotating already. I just need to get off this table quickly, or just anything like that. You never know what the information is that's currently going around in the team. We have the all-seeing eye. We know exactly what's going on, but of course doesn't go for the players. They rely on their own drones and information. Now, this is another spawn peek attempt, I believe, to come out, but this time it is from Leon. He's opened up. Okay, show on. Might allow it for someone else who's going to be waiting for a repel sound. Seems like it's going to be deep back. This allows you to just lean out, not be spotted by the map automatically. Just try and go for a cheap early kill, because it doesn't really cost you anything. You just heard the repel, he's going to be locking it off. Doesn't want to stick around.
Now, I said quite early on, there's only a few teams in the world that are very comfortable attacking this map. Everyone should be good at attacking, and I guess we'll get the taste of W7M, because they've done a very good job on the defense. It's been a couple of clutch rounds, one to time and one to there, and you know, you sort of have this continual thing, but now the onus and the pressure of time is on them. Koi, they can try and set this up. There seems to be a direct line coming. There's pressure underneath as well, a slow creep, the break. Leon, he's sort of playing that from the drum swing. Hertz is underneath with grenades. The similar approach we saw from Koi before, we're getting here from W7M. Will they just try and scream up black?
They might try so. And the main stairs possibly as well at the very same time. And all that's holding them back is going to be a proximity alarm right now. There's no actual players out there. I believe there's only 2 or 3 near the actual site. The rest is all, you know, gone off towards east, gone off towards the house area, and that means that if W7M is very decisive with the push that seems to be coming in right now, they might catch them all rotating back in.
That's it, and you can see how far away Koi are from the site and the hole. They're inside. Keys, he's got himself the first. He's inside, looking towards a singing sultry song, but Deepak wants to change the record. Karaoke is back to his, Crying. He stepped himself up. Leon's able to step it down. Spoit, he's looking to see if he can just limit anyone coming in via drum, and with a slightly misbounced grenade against nobody's feet, nobody else is caught. They went for something short, sharp, and snappy, and Koi was just able to stretch it out into a longer engagement so they can get themselves back in position. Julio swings in on the far end. Hertz, he's trying to get himself tucked in. Here's a lot of close audio, hoping the shoulder peaks come his way, but everything seems to be under huge amounts of Koi pressure.
Just escaped the C4 as well there as he was falling back down the staircase. Volps down the restaurant area. Just missed out on a fight with Leon Gids here. He's holding off. He's trying to go for an attempt too, but still here's someone walking right above him. There's nothing he can do about it. He doesn't have any grenades left, so he's going to require some assistance, but also no E1D, so Volps really will have to do with just providing covering fire with the Vector. And as they move in, they now need to isolate these players, but Crossfire's already there and 10 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, just swung, just picked up, one apiece, and one more for Crying. 3.
Good hold, boys. Yeah, buddy. Get me a Warden, bro.
Get him on Warden.
just wants to play Warden.
Who doesn't?
The magical classes.
I might kind of stick with Capcan, honestly. Just to annoy them.
Yeah, fuck it, dude.
So, you know, normally people might be like, okay, so pro play 6 Invitational, surely there's like strat books, and they'll be like, go for strat A, B on exhibition, and then
Pascal and Leon.
Exhibition.
Ryan and Leon.
I'm gonna play Capcom just to annoy them.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, just do it. So whatever.
I mean, major winners, and you know, and a good presence and a very strong, steady team. Yesterday we actually bumped into a couple of Rogue's team.
yeah.
Leon, Sathus, Tristan, and Bernadette.
Yep.
Some of the behind this one. And they brought a squeaky toy.
Oh yeah. They haven't used it yet. But
No.
they said they were going to use it to censor themselves.
We'll see if that happens. They might not be allowed. Maybe they're not allowed.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, obviously.
3 Capcom traps.
Oh, look at this as a lineup.
Attacker's objective is to
Look at that with an Amaru shotgun. Okay, what is going on here? Amaru shotgun sends Candelas. Pace, baby.
Yeah, but how are they going to... they're not going to be opening the wall, so this is almost guaranteed having to be either the window jump in and just go for it.
Yeah.
Back at Candelas.
Oh, this is a smash and grab if I've ever seen it. This is them breaking their way in. They're going to see if they can try and get locked in. There's also hatches bottom to top as well.
Yes.
Remember that. The corner hatch inside, just there on the southeast. And we've seen W7M play smoke plants behind that. The trick is, though, how do you cover it with the wall closed?
If they do use the window jump in, though, the double door on the next of it has 3 Capcom traps on it. So there could be a very quick end of the diffuser carrier if they would decide to go that way.
Yes. I mean, if you've got an Amaru, the point is there can be a very quick end.
Yeah.
For or against. We hear the first Candelas pop off. JV92 is going to see if he can try and get a bit of a slow swing. With the player underneath, it's going to be awkward. You've got to win that first fight, and that'll probably make the statement of who's there, especially when you've got a shotgun. Leon, though. Oh, I was going to say Leon is Kanto. Even gets the engagement. Leon just suffered at exactly the same time, to be honest. But for the course, this game is everybody fighting everybody. They've lost Sens. They've lost a lot of their coverage. They still have the pocket smokes, the Candelas, obviously, and some flashes. However, Sens is a huge dictator of eye lines.
Is Vulps now going out alone with the diffuser from Geisha?
No,
okay, Herds is
at
on the other
least
side.
have Herds.
I was going to say, because he rotated out quickly, there's someone else joining in. So they've changed the plan here. They're not going to be going for the quick execute they wanted to go for. They're going to be trying to go for a bit of a default take now. But Klein is waiting in that corner.
Yeah, and Spoit on the opposite end. Leon offering some support. They're just sort of saying, look, we're here. You're not going to get any further. There's the swing. Spoit gets the header one, gets the connection with the next. And well, suddenly it's just JV92 alone with the sound of their own Candelas. They went for a quick strategy, hit the question of how do we get in, hit Kanto Ricchetti, and then had to unfortunately hit the entire rest of the site. 40 seconds for players to try and bite their way through. And they're going for the big rotate round to the back end. There's been slight movements here.
It's kind of what happened, right? Like, they were trying to set themselves up, and they lost Sense. Sense, of course, being a big part by throwing up the light screens, which make it basically impossible to see through. You have to use explosives to get rid of them. Spoit gets that final kill. Happy about it. 4-4. Equalize the score. They're back into that game instantly. And not really been under any massive pressure yet, so... especially this round, it's just W7M scrambling, trying to see if they could get anything back together, but failing to do so. But I doubt we're going to see another kind of approach like that from W7M. I think they'll go more default now.
All right, as soon as we sort of see this happening, you go, when's the timeout going to be called?
Yeah.
You find yourself at this 4 apiece. W7M, they've lost obviously 2 attacks in a row. It was... both of them, I think, hitting the brick wall. And this is what you sort of mean by it's awkward to attack Skyscraper. Because it's still technically being pieced together. There's a lot that can be pushed and pressured and retaken. There's a lot of awkward shapes and motions towards it. And it's hard. It's almost, I'm not going to say it's impossible to have a conversation, but when you have 45 seconds, a minute to talk about something and try and reevaluate everything,
Yeah.
it's often always quoted as it being a lot harder for the defense because obviously you've got to make more major changes than attack, which can sort of go, look, this is where things are going wrong. But at the same time, I think the structure of Skyscraper makes it very awkward because it's hard to piece together
Where exactly it breaks
down attacking Skyscraper.
Small peek attempt. It's going to be abandoned, reattempted, and again abandoned. But Deepak gets it on the other side. So, you know, they still get the spawn peek kill there. See some smiles, some smirks. Just the confidence is getting back into Koi here. And that's the most dangerous Koi you'll ever see. Once they're feeling good, they're having fun, and they're confident. There's no beating them.
Well, a quick bit of pressure is coming down Prep. They're going to see if they can try and get some of the angles here. Herds got a long eye. Julio's not too far away with the kit. They have some smokes once again. They can play a quicker idea. They're just going to get anything around that window destroyed and then angle themselves over. If they can keep a pocket of space covered, well, that still includes killing Kanto. Tucked in on the top, and to be honest, he was tucked in underneath and was able to get the first, but it's Volt's lost. Off over on to Leon, cuts off Kanto's rotation. The direct route is now too dangerous, but ooh, that is a very unfortunate thing. That is uncancelable.
That's like probably the most infuriating thing. Like you start flying through, Hertz gets the kill on Crime, brings it back. Julio gets taken down as well. 2 on 3. W7M, still 2 members left. They are down below. Jiv92 will get one. Has to recover that diffuser. Will do so as well, but it's going to be safe to jump in. He doesn't know that.
That's it. It's been proven time and time again that this vertical hold has claimed 2 different victims on 2 different windows. And at this point, where do you find the remaining Koi players? This is maybe one of the best situations they've got themselves in here for the chance of an attack. It is the third site, W7M. They're going to see if they can swing round. Do they know about Spoit? Well, Spoit doesn't want to know about them. They're going to go for the tuck, going for the kit. He's down on the cover. They're seeing if they can try and find it, but nowhere is the response from Koi. That's able to just slip through, and you're sort of thinking at that moment, Koi, what were you looking for? Well, Hertz finds Deepak on the back end, and suddenly what seemed like Koi in a position to entirely lock that down. They still had the vertical control. They still had themselves in a point of presence on the 2 versus 2. Has turned into a very difficult situation. Spoit through a wall, gets a scrappy fight, cannot win it out. And I'm a bit curious what happened there.
What happened is, at the moment the rotation came through, IQ was being spotted out by the Prisma, so Spoit knew exactly where he was, but missed the opportunity to take the engagement, and he then decided to rotate through. Like, he went towards the balcony, towards Drum, and wasn't in a position to actually stop anything. Like, Deepak, of course, was horizontal.
They keep trying to run in, they keep trying to find that weak point in the site. They're just going to keep doing that whilst the rest of the main push is so slow. Like, just kind of like SSG, but a little bit faster, a little bit better on that gun skill when they're on their entries. Right? And they love to rotate. When it goes wrong, they rotate. They're kind of overcomplicating it a little bit. So the biggest and best thing you can do is to just relax. Alright, boys?
Yeah.
Look out for that fast entry. Once he's dead, the rest of them, they're going to take an extra 30 seconds, alright?
Alright, no worries.
Use your Michaels, use your 3, 2, 1s. Let's fucking go!
Yep. Let's focus up, boys.
Yes. Say yes, sir.
So,
I stand with Meepy. This is the thing. I love listening to coaches. I think we get a real good taste of what they can sort of bring and evaluate. Meepy for a long time has been known in the scene from our side of things as a huge brain, as a great idea person behind the game itself. Obviously, we came from the era. We've been around a very long time. We got to see him as a player. We got to see him as a player with Leon, however many times, and even before that. And that's the sort of thing is we can talk about and reminisce. But now, new viewers who have maybe joined because they're followers of new players like Spoit, or because they're sort of coming into the scene, first of all, amazing, but second of all, it's so cool that you get to hear what we've known and sort of get to be like, this is why they do what they do behind the 5 players.
yeah, for sure, and for a while, you know, coaches, they've always been there, they've always had the impact, but how exactly? Like, you never really got an insight to that. Like, they're always standing behind it. You know, they call tactical timeouts, but what do they exactly say? What do they do? I think for new inspiring coaches as well, I think this is like a really good way to look at it and maybe improve yourself as well. See what they talk about. Don't overcomplicate things in your tactical timeouts. Either way, Meepy was right. You get that first kill, they over-rotate. And look for that weakness. When they find it, they commit to it. And the small rotation we had earlier is what lost Koi that round. It started off so strong for them.
Let's see if he's right on this. The first attempt, the first weakness, they have been, as we said, prodding and probing. They try and find that single weakness and put the pressure behind it. We have slight change on lineup. W7M, they're more than happy to rotate through a couple of different options. The 0 is in the pocket of Alps as well. They've got Keys putting pressure on the other side of the underside. Last time they were around the bottom of Black Stairs. This time they're going to lead in with the pressure directly towards House, towards Office and Exhibition. And Koi, they're sort of sitting, I'm going to say pretty. They're dangerously close to the fire and under a bit of stress, but not intently stressed yet. The Spoit slinks out, takes the head off of Herds, a quick rotate. Look at the Koi players in the top right pulling away. Do they know? They don't know. Cryan, he was there forever, and that is a huge punishment. Hey, remember what Meepy said? They love to rotate when things go wrong. Cryan was like, yeah.
Let me catch one off on that rotate as well. Now W7M is debating where are we going next. Like we need to have a plan B, and of course I believe they've already opened up Geisha, as you can see right here, so that might be what they want to go for, using these SAM cams to find out whether or not someone is in blue, in drum, sorry, blue doesn't exist here. And as they now take Geisha, ooh, shot from the stairs. Kanta finds one as well. It's only up to Yulia now in a 1v5. The man has experience, the man is known for his skill as well and his knowledge, but the 1v5, that's a bit too much. A flawless round from Koi.
Fucking combos! Oh, that guy got fucking shit on. Oh my god. Good fucking play, Kenta Split. Good job, boy.
Very graphic language there.
The
Yeah.
Might be worth bringing a warden.
Oh, say no more.
The way they're playing, they had the ying, the sentence and stuff. Good try again.
It's funny.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, please, can we have this for every event?
You know what I like more is the fact that Warden, when came out, everybody was like,
Yeah.
you know, and now it's like, we need a Warden.
Say no more.
I want it. Ejected into Cryan's veins.
What a Chad. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, 5-5. If this round obviously goes away from W7M, they might have a title, they might have a conversation. You find yourself knocking the precipice. For the context of how everything plays out, W7M aren't confirmed for one of the top 2 spots. If G2 get a full 4 points and Koi get a full 4 points, then both teams leapfrog W7M, who would fall down to 3rd.
Yeah.
So they need to make sure that they try and not drop anything. There's obviously still results, and depending on what goes on elsewhere, if things fall apart, then it could be a different story. But they have the head-to-head for G2, so if SSG take a map, they're okay.
Yeah. But, you know, if this becomes a 2-1 and G2 wins 2-0, it comes down to round differential in the mini-league kind of thing, and it gets all messy and all calculative. And,
I thought it was head-to-head first.
yeah, mini-league head-to-head. But if you have 3 teams tied on 12 points, and every team has beaten each other 2-1, because Koi was beaten by G2, W7M beat G2, and Koi would then beat W7M all 2-1s. So you have a tie in terms of head-to-heads that way. That's just the quick explanation. But surely Dask will be ready for it once it does happen. I mean, it's still map 1. We're not even close yet to map 3 on this side. Not sure how it's going on the other stream. Either way, as we continue, a bit of an approach towards the Geisha is on his way. Not actually reinforced the wall off this time. The wind is also soft, so the Monty will be entering from there on. Now, this is the thing. They just put up a bandit wire on the other one, but it doesn't matter, considering they left this one soft and didn't really bother with it. That means the wall's still open up, so it's not really a, you know, mistake of a bandit wire there, but it doesn't really do anything. Ooh. Are they double peeking that? Panther just snakes in and gets the kill. Like, that shouldn't work, but, you know, he gets it. Fair play. It's entry kill for Koi.
All right, now what do you do? W7M on the back foot early on. Well, they might rotate. Meepy would posturize, and they might just try and be direct and look for a loose thread. KZ's going to go a little bit over the front and face of Terrace as Volps. Well, he's gone deep, drops the shield, he's baiting the attention. Cryin doesn't know which way to look, at least as Kanto for support, but look how many players are stacking up here. Kanto cannot quite survive that long, a very narrow bridge. And they've pushed themselves pretty heftily here. Take the iron, take the might of a shield, and get this locked down. The approach breaks and batters right against the side of house here. They're slipped around with the breach open. The Monty is free to maneuver and manipulate and suffer a bit of damage there. Scrap, do they know just how close they are to the fight? They're right in front of you. He's being so delicate with the shield. Cryin and Leon get one either side. The rotate comes against it. They tried to pop it. Leon gets Volps, leaving 15 seconds and nobody to experience it.
Did Volps just jump after like, Cryin was like, I need to jump out now, the Monty's gonna be getting me, jumps over the wall. Monty's like, you know what, I'll follow. I'll try and come and get you as well. The 6-5 Koi leading map point as well.
Let's go barbecue again, guys. Remember, let's just take a chill pill here. Let's take it a bit slower.
I can put on side as well if you want. What?
No, we never get the answer. Just a what's in the end. Barbecue coming through. As Leon said, they need to take it a bit slower.
Attackers need to locate.
Because the last time they had a great entry, they came through initially perfectly fine. But then, like, they over-rotate a little bit, it took a bit too many fights, they get themselves in a bit of a, you know, precarious situation, and W7M got the plan down and no one was there to actually say something about it. And we're on the back foot. Left them wanting. It would have been over otherwise if they were able to lock in that round. It would have been a 7-4 now.
Reload!
Now.
6-5, and this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted a series. I wanted a show, and it's the first map. It's Koi's map pick as well. We go to Border, which, good luck, Observer. I mean, if this was hard to piece together as to who was going to have a first engagement, these two teams on Border is going to be like, you're just crossing your fingers, closing your eyes, and pressing, and hoping that you get the player that's going to be the first lead-in on the fight.
Leon, just quickly checking, trying to find out where the drones are coming from. There's often a bit of an indication on where the push is entering from. That's actually happening from the house area. Early entry from JV92 into the building. Just holding off to the house stairs. He's not finding anything as of yet. This boy's just running through some walls, taking some damage. He's creating rotations to allow his team and to move a bit quicker, but also put up a bit of pressure towards W7M once they do get to that point. Because, hey, suddenly there's a lot of long angles, and yeah, sure, you can watch them, but if you move through them, you're opening yourself up to a whole lot of danger. This tower's being cleared out. So is Dragon, so is Shrine. Air jumps are being set up just to hold them back, to make sure they don't go more aggressive than they currently can be. W7M is still debating on how they want to approach this fully.
Says a lot that this game has got to the 5-6 situation. Every single Koi player is at least positive or even. And there's a couple on W7Ms that haven't quite been able to get close to that mark. They've kept themselves in it via getting the drive down on the sites that matter the most, the plants. They can play the games even when they're sort of against the wind, and they couldn't be more so than on the death knell of match point. Spoit is trying to keep the angle, see if he can get off to the positive start that they've been able to take control of the past couple of rounds. No run out this time. Pressure comes from the opposite side. KZ is the first off the board, and well, they're going to potentially end this game negative now as well. Kanto, he's under huge amounts of pressure, but he's able to get a freebie onto Julio, who's looking into a different engagement. Tucked still on the main stairs, waiting for the swing round from Drum. They look over the player. They don't quite see each other, and there's another bit of punishment. Kanto from the same stair set gets two, looks for a third. Spoit's offering some support. Leon gets one, and Volps has to clutch out, gets the first. But he would need all the remaining members of the team to be able to keep them in this and get to OT. The buck can at least cause some problems below, but you know, as soon as you get down there, if you try to plant, they're just going to shoot you from above. But they do it anyway. Koi, they take their map, map 1.
Well done, we'll be very happy with that, and that will allow them to truly focus onto the next now. They want to be taking that first seed. You might wonder why. Well, that is because they get a bye. They are top 12 if they do, and all they need is a 2-0 victory to achieve that. And they're one step in the way there.
Well, our analysts predicted